Hey boo, hey! Welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, maybe I should be welcoming myself back to my YouTube channel because I've been gone for a minute. But I'm back with the jump off. Now, today we're going to be talking about something that I feel like I can have a lot of input in. The cons of being a content creator. Because I've been doing content creation for 5 years. And if you don't know, you need to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and even Facebook to check out some of my content. Now, I'm going to be pulling back the veil on being a content creator because yes, it can be freedom and glamorous and brand deals, but there's also a lot that goes into it that people don't talk about. And we're going to talk about that today. Let's go.
Not on my level.
And they'll agree, Miss Crystal PNT, little bills, the potential candy. Seeing to the sea, central and free from a land to Japan with Miss Romance. If you can't dance and if you can't sing, put your hands in the air about your dancing. See it to the people.
Okay, so we back, and I just want to say make sure you subscribe to my channel, guys. It helps the channel in every way. Like videos, comment, it just helps. Now, the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to cons of being a content creator is creative burnout. Because after doing this for 5 years, I'm starting to feel a little bit of the creative burnout. And it's because content creation is constant. You feel like you can never take a day off and you have to top your last video and you're always thinking about your next post, and it can be stressful. It can drain you. It can burn you out. And no, that doesn't mean that you aren't great. No, that doesn't mean that you aren't great. And it sounds all exciting being a content creator until you're mentally and emotionally drained. And when creativity is your job, burnout doesn't just hit hard. It hits your income too. And that's why most content creators feel like they can't take a day off. They feel like if I take a day off, that's one less day of income. And that's why I say content creation is a job, and you need to learn how to take days off. I always try to give myself 2 days off on the week because the internet isn't going anywhere. But as a content creator, sometimes we can feel that way, and it can make us just want to have constant ideas. Niching down also can make you feel burnt out because most of my videos that I do on TikTok or Instagram is about zodiac signs. You kind of get burnt out of ideas, and that's why I'm kind of trying to get back into my YouTube because I want to talk about other things, including zodiac signs. Another one that most people just skim over when they're trying to be a content creator is unstable income. Now, I've been doing this for 5 years, content creation. And when I first started, I used to make $200, $300 a month. Yeah, a month. So I still have to have a job. I still have to do things to make money because my content creation wasn't paying. That's why I tell people, do not quit your job. Unless you have like a long-term sponsorship or you're getting paid like a lot off these apps, then content creation will always be unstable income. And you will always be wondering where your next dollar comes from. And that's why a lot of, again, we circle back. A lot of content creation people feel like they can't take a day off because they're getting paid off the actual apps, how much they post. Full transparency, I am one of those people. I don't always get brand deals, because like I said, it's easier for women and people that's in like lifestyle content to get constant brand deals from like Target, Walmart, etc., because they're lifestyle content. But when you niche down and you're like, you only do movie scenes or you only do zodiac signs, stuff like that where you're not showing your real life, the income can get tricky and you have to think on your feet constantly. Like 1 month, everything is good. Like you feel like you chose the right path. And then the next month is crickets. And you don't know how you're going to pay your rent, how you're going to eat, how you're going to survive. It's very on you. It's very on you in this content creation business, and that's what makes most people quit. Another thing is your privacy is gone. As you grow, people will try to get to know you more, want to know more things about you, and also your time is just gone. It takes a lot of time to push out this content. You miss out on family reunions, dates with your spouse, and it can cause a lot of relationships to crumble. You're sacrificing your relationships for the content, basically, and to be a content creator and to put yourself out there in every way, in any way that you can. And that can cause you to be at home a lot or traveling a lot if you're a travel content creator. You slowly lose boundaries with being a content creator and being yourself. It can become blurred, you know what I mean? Because you are getting this money, you know, you're getting this money, but at the same time, you're losing essence of yourself. And it's like I said, it causes burnout, it causes depression, it causes anxiety. And it can just make you feel like the walls are caving in. So be careful with always keeping some form of self. I try to be as private as possible. You know, I don't really talk about my relationship much. I don't really talk about my parents or my life in general. I really do post the content. And a lot of my followers always say, I want to know more about you. Can you tell me more about you? And for a person like me, I've just seen from that, the more they know, the more ammo they have for when they don't like you no more. I'm not saying that's in every case, but in a lot of cases, that's what I've seen. So I try to give people more of me. But when you are somebody who is private, it also is saving you a lot. You know what I mean? It's saving you a lot of stress from feeling like you have to tell everything in your life. I'm excited that a lot of people respect that I just post the content, but I am going to try to give more of me because my supporters deserve it. Another thing, a con that a lot of content creators don't talk about, because most of them are trying to sell you courses and ebooks on how to get likes and get followers. The algorithm rules everything. If the algorithm don't want to promote your content, then it's just your content probably not going to get promoted. You know, you can put your heart and soul. It's been so many videos where I was like, oh, they gonna love this one. Oh, the hood gonna love it. And it went nowhere. You know what I mean? And then there's been videos where I literally barely did anything and they went super viral. You don't know what the algorithm is gonna like. And it can still flop no matter how. It's just making me just think about all the times I put my heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears in the video and it literally flopped. And it makes you second guess yourself and second guess what you're doing and saying, do people even care? You know what I mean? And then it's like the pros of being a content creator when you get that high of having a video that does very well. So you just gotta humble yourself always being a content creator. And the worst part about all of that is you'll probably never know why it flopped. You'll never know why it didn't do as well as a video that you didn't even put no heart into. You know what I mean? There is no excuse. You just gotta keep going, and that's the scary part about being a content creator. Unless, like I said, you're backed by a big brand and you're just getting $10,000 off all of these apps from the payouts, then I'm not talking to you. But the people that's like me, that this is basically 3 bumps up from having a regular job most of the time, I'm talking to you. Because most of the creators that's making these tens and thousands and millions of dollars are lying to you. And that's where we lead into, don't compare yourself to other content creators, because it will make you go insane. Why does this person have a condo in the hills of LA and I feel like I'm working 4 times harder and I can't get nothing? Like I said, it's the algorithm. I feel like sometimes it's the color of your skin, it's your gender, it's your, you know, who you date. You know, it's very hard. I feel like very hard to be a black LGBTQ content creator sometimes. You know, you get judged a lot or nobody really cares, you know, what you're saying. And I try not to compare myself to people because I'll be wondering sometimes, like, why do people like the ratchetest stuff, the craziest stuff? And I'm just trying to, you know, give you fun and funny and free, live, laugh, love. And some people, that's just not their content. That's why some people like to watch baddies and some people like to watch Law and Order SVU, and then some people like to watch both. So it's it's not about, it's not about comparing yourself, because you just need to do your own thing and know that you're doing what you love to do, and it will come. Patience is a virtue, and that can be a pro or a con with being a content creator. You got to have a lot of patience. You got to learn how to ground yourself, humble yourself. You have to learn how to budget your money. You got to learn how to do that, because if you don't, you'll be forever stressed as a content creator, because only the 1% come out and just make the millions and make the tons of thousands. Like I said, it's hard unless you just are good with getting brand deals, and you just get paid good on the payouts on these apps. And even with that, you have to work extra hard. So it's all about being extra. Another con of being a content creator is probably that no one will see your vision for you. And that it honestly can be scary being a content creator, because a lot of people are going to tell you that it's oversaturated and blah, blah, blah. And another thing that I would say can hinder you as being a content creator is niching down. Now, niching down is if you don't know what niching down is, it's when you have a specific niche. Like I said, I do mostly zodiac sign content. There's some people that just do lifestyle content. There's some people that are mom content creators, dad content creators. Some people that just knit. It's just, you have a certain niche of people that like to see your content. But that could be good or bad depending on what niche you fall into. And I would say women have more success in niching down than men most of the time. You know what I mean? Because if you are a woman that does lifestyle content, you're able to get big brands. You know what I mean? It's easier for you to get big brands and stuff like that. But if you're somebody like me that does zodiac sign content and acting and movie scenes, you don't get as much brand deals. You know what I mean? Unless you're really putting yourself out there and applying. When I apply for a lot of brand deals, I used to get a lot of brand deals. But now that I don't apply, I may get a brand deal once a month. And that's okay. It's not okay. Look, that's where you go pulling and tugging at yourself. You're constantly trying to be better when you're a content creator. And sometimes it's just about putting the content out. Stop second guessing yourself. Nobody's perfect and nothing's going to be perfect. And that's not even the way people are even going now. People want to see the flaws and all. You know what I mean? But yeah, content creation can be very fun and exhilarating and freedom, but it also can be a lot of stress and budgeting and trying to figure out planning and trying to figure out how to get your next dollar sometimes. Because like a lot of people say, if all these apps shut down, how are we going to get paid? Back to flipping burgers. That's what people like to say. Back to flipping burgers, back to flipping burgers. And I find that hilarious, because sometimes some of us are just making probably three steps up from what you're making off your paycheck. If you're making $1,500, we're making $3,000. If you're making $3,000, we're probably making $6,000. And that's a month for us. You know what I mean? Sometimes. So it all depends on how hard you're willing to work to be a content creator. Now, don't get me wrong. Being a content creator is amazing in so many ways. But it's not all about brand deals and viral moments. If you're thinking about being a content creator, you have to start really thinking about budgeting and time in planning. You have to learn how to protect your peace, because no matter what nobody want to say, it's a real job with real challenges. Protect your peace and pace yourself, and just remember your value isn't tied to your views. And that's something that I had to learn within myself as well. Just because the views ain't adding up what you think they should, don't mean you didn't do everything that you wanted to do. Remember what I said at the top of the video. The algorithm, it rules all. If you found this video helpful, y'all, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments, what's the biggest challenge you face as a creator? I love to hear your story in the comments. And guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm back and I'll be doing more videos. And in the comments, let me know what else you will want me to talk about. I have a lot coming for this YouTube channel. This is just the beginning. I got so much coming for y'all. I don't wanna speak it and jinx it, but I have a lot coming for y'all. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel, guys. I'm Jakai Milan, darling, and have a beautiful day.
Not on my level.
And the agreements, crystal PNT, little bills, the potential candy. Seeing to the sea, so central and free from Milan to Japan with Miss Romance. If you can't dance and if you can't sing, put your hands in the air about your dancing. See it to the people.